For years, I believed that marriage was built on trust, a trust so strong that nothing could break it. I thought Sarah and I had a love that could withstand any storm. We weren't perfect, no couple is, but we were a team. Or so I thought. Looking back, I see the signs I ignored, the small cracks I didn't want to believe in. But when you love someone, you don't see the flaws. You focus on the bigger picture, the life you've built together. That day, the day everything changed, started like any other. I was in my home office, buried under a mountain of spreadsheets and emails, while Sarah was out meeting a friend for lunch. I never questioned her whereabouts. She was my wife, my partner, the one I had promised to love for the rest of my life. But that afternoon, a single message would shatter the world I thought I knew. My phone buzzed and I glanced at the screen. The message was from an unfamiliar number. The words sent a chill through me. "You deserve to know the truth. Check this out." Attached was a grainy photo of Sarah, sitting in a cafe, leaning across a man I didn't recognize. Their faces were too close, uncomfortably close. At first I tried to dismiss it. Maybe it was an old friend, someone she hadn't mentioned. But deep down I knew something wasn't right. I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that this wasn't innocent. I stared at the photo for what seemed like hours, my mind racing. When Sarah came home later that evening, her face was glowing as she recounted her lunch with Lisa, her longtime friend. I nodded, pretending to be interested, but inside I was drowning in confusion and suspicion. If she was lying, she hid it well, but the image of her leaning into that man lingered in my mind, refusing to be erased. Over the following days, I paid closer attention to her behavior. Her phone, once casually left around the house, was now rarely out of her sight. Her errands, once quick and efficient, now stretched on for hours. When she returned, there was always just a small, vague excuse. Milk, apples, nothing that added up. I couldn't ignore it any longer. Something was off. One evening, as she showered, I decided to check her phone. My hands trembled as I unlocked it. The password hadn't changed in years. I scrolled through her messages, trying to remain calm. At first, everything seemed normal. But then I noticed a conversation under a name I didn't recognize. Lauren. When I opened the thread, my heart sank. Lauren wasn't Lauren at all. It was the man from the cafe. Their messages were filled with flirtation, jokes, plans to meet up again. The most damning text of all read, "I can't wait to see you again. Same place tomorrow." Anger, betrayal, and disbelief surged through me, but above all, I felt a cold determination. I wasn't going to confront Sarah, not yet. If she thought she was getting away with this, I wanted her to keep thinking that way. I needed more evidence, irrefutable proof that would leave her no room to deny it when I finally confronted her. The next day, I told Sarah I had to work late at the office. In reality, I parked my car a block away from the cafe. From my vantage point, I could see the entrance. Sure enough, an hour later, Sarah arrived and she wasn't alone. The man from the photo was with her, his hand resting casually on her lower back. As they entered the cafe, I snapped photos, my heart pounding in my chest. Watching them laugh together, leaning toward each other, their hands brushing, was like a dagger twisting in my side. But I stayed calm. I wasn't ready to act just yet. Over the next few weeks, I quietly collected my evidence. I tracked her movements, saved screenshots of their messages, even recorded a phone call where she lied about her whereabouts. By the time I was ready to confront her, I had everything I needed, irrefutable proof that she had been cheating on me for months. The confrontation happened on a Friday evening after dinner, when the dishes were cleared and the kids were upstairs. Sarah sat on the couch, scrolling through her phone, unaware of the storm that was about to hit. I placed the printed photos and screenshots on the table in front of her, watching her face closely. "What's this?" she asked, her voice laced with confusion. "You tell me," I said, my tone calm but firm. "Is this Lisa or Lauren or someone else I should know about?" Her face drained of color as she flipped through the evidence. For a long moment she didn't speak. Her eyes darted from me to the photos, as if searching for some way to explain it all away. Finally she looked up at me, her voice barely above a whisper. "Mike, I can explain." She stammered, tears welling up in her eyes, her voice trembling. "I never meant for this to happen, Mike. I was just so lonely." I looked at her, my gaze hardening. "Go ahead," I said, my voice steady but cold. "I'd love to hear it." She tried everything, denial, excuses, even guilt. She claimed the messages were just jokes and that the man was an old friend she had reconnected with. But I wasn't buying it. I calmly played the recording of her phone call, the one where she lied so effortlessly, and watched her face crumble. She couldn't keep up the act anymore. Sobbing now, she confessed, "Mike, I felt lonely. You've been so busy with work and I just needed someone to talk to. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My voice rose in anger. This wasn't talking, Sarah. This was betrayal. You lied to me, over and over again. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? Her tears didn't affect me. They couldn't. I had spent weeks in emotional turmoil, grieving the loss of trust in our marriage. By the time I finally confronted her, I had already detached myself from the person I had loved. All that remained was the cold, hard truth. I want a divorce, I told her, my voice devoid of any warmth. At first, she begged me to reconsider, promising to end the affair, to go to counseling, to fix everything. But it was too late. My mind was made up. Trust, once broken, is nearly impossible to rebuild, and I couldn't imagine a future with someone who had so casually destroyed ours. I acted swiftly. I froze our joint accounts, ensuring she couldn't drain them to fund her affair. By Monday morning, I filed for divorce, citing infidelity as the reason. My attorney was confident that, with the evidence I had, the court would side with me in the settlement. As for Sarah's so-called lover, it turned out he wasn't interested in her long-term. When she told him about the divorce, he disappeared, leaving her to face the consequences alone. Meanwhile, I focused on rebuilding my life. It's been a year since that night, the night everything came crashing down. The divorce was finalized just a few months ago, and I've moved into a new home. The kids stay with me most of the time, though they still spend weekends with Sarah. I haven't told them the full story. They're too young to understand the complexity of betrayal, but they know that their parents couldn't make it work. As for Sarah, I hear she's struggling to adjust. She's reached out a few times, apologizing, asking if we can try again. But I always give her the same answer: some things can't be undone. Looking back, I'm grateful for the friend who sent me that initial text. Without it, I might have remained blind to the truth, clinging to a marriage that was already broken. That moment was a turning point. It taught me the importance of taking control of my own life, of not letting someone else dictate my worth or happiness. If there's one thing I've learned through all this, it's that betrayal doesn't define you. Yes, it hurts, but it also reveals who you really are and who you can become. I'm stronger now, more focused, determined to build a life where honesty, respect, and trust are non-negotiable. Thanks for reading my story. If you've ever been through something similar, or if you want to hear more stories like this, hit that subscribe button. Life is full of unexpected twists, but together we can navigate them and come out stronger on the other side.